picture my intro music just went. Hey, you guys. Welcome back to Not That Deep. If you haven't heard from me, it's because I was too busy being grateful and giving thanks at Thanksgiving. I was back in New Jersey. A lot was happening, but I thought I have to do a salsa dance when I'm back in the city. Something about going to a dance class makes me feel free. It makes me feel alive. And something that I've noticed is whether it's because of my Judaism or my bone structure, hip mobility is not in my...
I was like, where's this going?
I know. I kind of liked having everyone at the edge of their seat. I wanted to do a salsa class. And when it comes to people who are down or who are DTS, down to salsa, it's a pretty small group of people in my life. But someone specifically I wanted to ask, who then we thought will come on the podcast because it only was natural. Because the two of us used to have a podcast. We used to do the damn thing together. Without further ado. I'm like, that was such a bad introduction. But Jill, like, sorry, oh my God. Spoiler alert. Everyone, welcome to the podcast. My friend, my ex-podcast host, and one of the main people that I'm thankful I went on Birthright for, Jillian Gothelf.
Oh, that was sweet. Live studio audience clapping. Oh my God, thank you guys.
Oh my
you
God,
don't even know me yet.
This is crazy. The live studio audience is obsessed
They're
with you.
actually freaking out.
Jillian, welcome to Not That Deep. I seriously love you so much.
I love you. I'm so excited to be here. That intro felt like it's like speaking out for the first time. Here's her story. I'm like, well, the podcast kind of ended naturally. Like, we ended on good terms. Everything was amicable.
We're kind of like the Jewish Sophia and Alex Cooper.
Yes, except it wasn't like over a boy. You know, the deal was a little bit smaller than the Mills, but
It was just over a pandemic.
right.
I want to go back to where we first met because I think that'll help everyone get a good look into who you are, but also who we are and how this magic began. So, Birthright.
Which is like 8 years ago, going on 9.
That's insane. We went on Birthright when we were what, 19?
Yeah.
So you were at...
Wait, 19 or 20?
I was
It was
19.
sophomore.
I'm young for my grade though.
Oh.
Wait, it was summer going into junior year, right?
Mm-hmm.
God, what a time.
It was so fun. I remember walking around the mall and also like going to that Hatikva Sheish concert and just seeing everybody. And I was like, this is not abroad. Like, I came with one person to not see all of you, but like everyone goes at the same time.
Yeah, also being from Long Island, aka you, I feel like that's Jewish Central, whereas Jersey, Virginia Tech, there wasn't a ton of overlap. I mean, I went with my entire high school group.
Also, we went with NYU.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But like, I remember that concert and we had packaged lunches and I was like, God damn it. Like, I wanted something better than that. And every single day, I mean, it was 10 days, but I just remember, I mean, we're into energies and stuff, but I just remember like, you were so funny and so fun to be with that I almost felt bad leaving my high school friends sometimes because like I was definitely there to enjoy my time with the people I went with and also meet people, but it's pretty awkward to try to meet people when you came with people.
See, I personally, like, I thought if I'm gonna travel outside the country, the smaller the group, the better. So I picked one person that I know I travel well with. And we were just like, okay, let's vibe. Let's see what these people are like. And I thought it was so fun, but also you did a good job at like mingling with the rest of the group, making us all feel like we weren't excluded from the cool kids because you guys were very cliquey at times, but you did include me. And, you know, also the first night when we were sleeping in the shuk.
Oh my
Or not the
gosh.
shuk. No, man, not the
The
shuk.
Bedouin tent.
The Bedouin tents, yes. And they split us up. They split me up from the one person I came with, and I was like, oh, great.
Wait, yes.
You couldn't pick. And I was like, ugh, this better be good.
And people in our group, you know, who shall remain nameless, did Molly.
Wait, did they do Molly? I thought they did acid.
What's worse? Like, what's worse?
Molly.
What's worse? You calling your mom and be like, Ma, I got kicked off the trip because I did fill in the blank. I think anal.
I think maybe no, I feel like honestly Molly and acid are equal.
I don't
If
really.
you said ketamine, I feel like that's kind of worse.
Ketamine, it's kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Molly, it's like you must have been at a rave, but like we were just sleeping in dirt.
Shisha,
Oh,
normal.
wait, we have to talk about this one night when we were in the desert, because do you remember us all laying basically in
Mhm.
like corn and looking up at the sky and like,
Corn.
I don't know, I just imagined myself on like a bed of corn.
The Bedouin tents?
No, no, no. Well, yes, but remember we went into like we walked a
Yeah.
distance and we bared ourselves.
I cried. I cried.
Same, but like,
They were like, talk to your younger self and tell
my
them how
God.
much you love them and like how your life is going to be like this very introspective moment. And I feel like that's something that people need to talk more about with Birthright. Like, they just think, oh, all these Jews are on a free trip, going to Tel Aviv, partying, getting with the soldiers. But, like, nobody talks about the deep moments where you're, like, introspecting and you're in the middle of the desert.
that's so true. No one does talk about it because I feel like it's so vulnerable. Not that I blocked it out, but I don't think about that often. But I do remember at the time thinking so many people that I grew up with are listening to me. I probably talked about my parents' divorce. I don't, what else was there to talk about? But but I'm trying to think, like, what did everyone else talk about?
I remember people talking about, like, SA.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, what's my bad thing?
Yeah, you're like, sometimes
I honestly just stayed quiet.
you're like, I'm gluten free. Damn.
I was like, I try to stay away from cheese.
That we're all like, we all do. That's really beautiful that people had that space to share that, though. But then all of a sudden, yeah, we were partying in Tel Aviv.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, just the memories. But so we obviously hit it off, and then we come back, we go to a concert together at Irving Plaza,
Mm-hmm.
and tie me down.
Oh my God, that was actually such a fun concert. Also because it seemed so casual. Like, we went on stage, we were with the DJ before the actual main event came on.
That was
But
fun.
we just got up on stage and were dancing on a high from getting out of Birthright.
We're underage.
So underage.
Did I tell you that I saw Griffin a few weeks ago?
I saw on your story, so I knew, but you didn't tell.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Did you feel like you got cheated on?
No.
That's like if
you can see Griffin without me.
That's like if you went on Birthright and didn't text me. Be like, yo, so I confused.
Wait, you did that again? So I'm not good enough?
So we come back, and then I think you and I were advanced in the sense that a lot of people nowadays are starting podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
myself included.
Everybody has one.
Jill,
Me too.
you have a podcast, Hotter in Person, people. Listen anywhere. Do you think that you're hotter in person?
Yeah. That was the reason why I started it, because I thought that I looked horrible in photos, and I was like, I know that I'm hot, and I think that only radiates when you talk to me, because my energy is like what's attractive. Sometimes your smile, like, people always criticize themselves in photos, but when you're looking at yourself in the mirror after you do your hair, your makeup, you're wearing a hot outfit, like, you feel good. Take that energy and ride with it.
I'm obsessed with that, and that is so true. And I think anyone listening, guy, girl, old, young, whatever, can agree to that. We're so nitpicky when we're looking at a photo of ourselves, right? But when we're in the mirror, we're like, you fucking sexy bitch.
Mhm. I'm playing like Jason Derulo, like dancing with myself in the mirror. I'm like, you got it, girl.
You're doing salsa.
And then there's one photo that's taken, and I'm like, oh, great, gotta change.
You're like, your camera is destroyed.
Yeah, I'm like, don't post that. Keep that to yourself.
But I feel like also when you're talking to someone, you're not aware of what you look like. You're aware of the energy that you're bringing.
And also the energy that you're getting from other people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more focused on them than me.
Right.
I'm like, you are feeling awkward around me. Okay.
Right. And then how can I fix that?
Mm-hmm.
But also when someone is talking to me with such confidence and amazing energy, I'm not Like, they could have flat ironed that piece of hair a little bit better. Because who cares?
I also think, back to Birthright really quickly, me and you, to ride with the energy and like the personality, we were absolute goofballs. Like, we did not care about what anybody thought of us. We were like singing, doing weird stuff, just like being so silly while everyone else was being so normal. And I think that that's what really made us click. Like, we were just two goofballs, like trying to have a good time in Israel.
Yeah. And also not caring what people think. That's so us. Jillian and I, after our salsa class, we fully just danced in the New York City streets. Tried to remember what we just learned.
New York stationary.
Like, guys, this salsa class was so hard and very humbling. We did it through Alvin Alley. This is not sponsored. But I want to like talk about the salsa class, but I also want to continue and close the loop on our podcast. So let's do that first. But so Hotter in Person, give it a listen. I also have a question. Was that your first title for that, or were you going back and forth between different names?
So I started off with the podcast being called Stop Giving a Fuck.
Right.
And it was all about
Jill,
like,
right.
Yes. Right. Okay, so yeah, it was all about like, don't care about what people think of you, be yourself, be your most authentic self, like love yourself for who you are, don't care about like the likes, the comments, the followers. I studied media psychology, so like that's kind of where I started from with the pods. So first off, I was thinking like, stop giving a fuck, you know, it's punchy, whatever. But then I kind of realized maybe I should take the fuck out of it, and I switched it to Hotter in Person, which is like a mindset and a way of life.
I like that, because you don't want to be so niche that you're closing yourself off to someone, because also Stop Giving a Fuck and Not That Deep kind of have some overlapping.
Yeah.
Chords, you know?
Themes.
Like, it's kind of on the same level. But so before that, in 2019, you and I started a podcast called It's
Unorthodox.
Wait. 1, 2, 3.
It's Unorthodox with your host. Oh my God, I'm going back.
I'm transported. I don't know when we actually did the first episode, but Jillian would come to my office. Oh my gosh, I'm always just using my office's facilities.
I mean, as you should.
Where I work will never just be where I work.
And that's a good thing. Utilize the space.
Yeah, but you'd come, we'd get our boxed water.
Oh my God, that was so bouge.
And we would record. We didn't really have a plan either, did we?
We kind of did. Like, we would talk about, like, we would text about themes that we wanted to talk about and just bounce off each other.
But it's crazy because when we first started, I feel like the topics were so obvious of what we should talk about. Like hooking up, high school parties,
camp.
Just
commonalities amongst two Jewish girls from the tri-state area.
And I'm curious, if we did keep it going, what would have happened? We probably got 9 episodes.
Yeah, I would say 9. Yeah, maybe 9.
And then quarantine happened. I mean,
we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Bruno.
The silent breakup.
I wish I could find the text. I don't know what if a breakup was actually happened, or like one of us just ghosted each other in the podcasting sphere.
But the most hurtful part of it all.
Give it to me. It's not that deep. The most
hurtful part of it all, and you know, I think that if there's anywhere to fish this out, it's here. You ended up doing a podcast like during quarantine with another Jill, and it was like D and Jill, like Dana and Jill, and I was like, wait, do you not remember Birthright? Like, hello? And you were like, yeah, no, don't worry, like it's all good, it's so different. I was like, okay, not replaced energy, but like
it was okay. I think the dish with D and Jill T.
Yeah.
In my defense, I was desperate. No, we only had 2 episodes.
And you did SoundCloud, so I was not that hurt.
We did the bottom shelf.
Yep.
of podcasting performance. SoundCloud, I technically work for SoundCloud. We can sell advertising on SoundCloud. That was a missed opportunity to not upload It's Unorthodox to SoundCloud. Question, do you think we would have been not canceled by any means, but questioned of the name? When I would tell people, they would kind of be like, are you like really religious? Are you making fun of Orthodox people?
No, because I
And
feel
it's
like
not that deep.
people give their podcasts like the dumbest names and talk about anything. Like the name doesn't have to actually do with the podcast.
That's true.
It's not that deep.
It's not that deep.
It's not that deep.
I think everyone can give it a listen, quick listen, maybe 2 minutes tops, but our voices probably sound different. You're an alto, I'm a soprano, as we just decided.
I thought we just said I was a soprano.
What's the lower one?
Alto.
Oh, I always think that alto is higher because it comes first.
What do you mean it comes first?
Like A.
Oh, okay.
Alto is lower.
Alto is lower, yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm the alto.
Yeah.
I definitely have a lower voice.
Experienced before this was
because when
alto,
when you're singing Wicked by yourself, what part are you taking?
Glinda.
Why?
Shockingly.
That is shocking. Why?
I don't know. I like how she does the operatic sounds sometimes. Like, I hope. I'm not singing right now.
Do it. Well, you're actually a good singer. So as I said earlier, it's not that fun.
Which, yeah, it's not fun. So, but I would switch topics because I actually have a story about that.
Okay, well, can we talk Wicked? Because it's seriously like, unfortunately, I could talk about this for the next 45 minutes. You saw it a while ago.
No, I actually saw it I saw it a week ago.
I know. That's a while ago at this point. That was so many hours ago. I saw it last night. I have everything stuck in my head.
Tell me your thoughts. Oh my gosh.
Well, I want to hear your thoughts because you saw it first and you've had more time to sit with it. And I feel like you recapping it will make me be like,
okay. Have you seen the Broadway musical?
Yes.
Okay.
And recently.
Oh, okay. So I have seen the musical a bunch of times, but I haven't seen it in a while. So seeing the movie, I mean, I knew the story and I knew the standards that it had to live up to. I honestly didn't love the opening scene as the start of it. I kind of wish that it like transitioned into the actual story of Wicked in a different way. However, I thought everything else was so perfect. I think that with the Broadway show, something that I appreciated about the movie is when you're seeing it on Broadway, you can't actually see the characters' expressions on their face, but this one you actually felt what they were feeling. And at the Ozdust Ballroom, that scene when you see Elphaba dancing alone, and I'm not going to spoil it, but in that moment, like when hands touch, if you know what I mean, and two people start dancing together, like that moment, tears, waterworks.
Was that scene even in the Broadway show?
Yeah.
What? During Dancing Through Life?
Yeah. Dancing Through Life is a 30-minute scene.
On Broadway?
No, the movie.
No, I know in the movie. I literally just saw the Broadway show. I have no recollection of that intense dance scene at the Ozdust.
Okay, so I remember the dancing, but I don't remember. I think that they did it differently with the hands touching and the dancing between the two people.
Okay, that was they got to just expand on every single scene.
I know.
What you just said, the emotion part of it and seeing their faces was breathtaking.
Seeing the actors cry, I felt for them in those moments. They did such a brilliant job. And something that I wanted to tell you is that I met Cynthia because she came on my show, the show that I work for, not the podcast, guys. It's big, but it's not there yet. So I go downstairs when I knew that she was coming on the show to meet her and see her. And I get a text from my college roommate saying, "Hey, are you at the studio today? I'm here with Cynthia."
What?
Yeah. I go downstairs, and before I even see Cynthia, I bump into my college roommate. And I'm like, what are you doing with Cynthia? She's like, I've been her publicist since 2021, and I've been touring around the world with her for the past couple of weeks. She told me that 1 week they went to London, Sydney, and New York in 1 week.
Did you know that this is what your college roommate was up to?
I knew that she was the publicist for Emma Stone, but not Cynthia.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
So I didn't even care about Cynthia at that point. I was like, oh my God, we need to catch up. I need to hear everything about your life because, oh my God, you've been touring. And casually on her Instagram stories, she's like posting with Ariana Grande, posting with Cynthia. Like they're just on the tour with them. And she introduced me to Cynthia's assistant, this guy, Michael. He's like so fun. You would totally get along with him.
What was Cynthia doing previously?
She was on Broadway.
As in what?
I think The Color Purple. Wait, no. Yeah. No, I think The Color Purple.
I genuinely don't think anyone in this entire universe has a better voice than her.
Debatable.
Who? And don't say you.
I just don't love her intonation sometimes. I mean, Ariana Grande, I think, has a better voice.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I guess like people could argue Kelly Clarkson.
It's also fresh in your mind right now. Like you're not thinking about all the good singers of the world.
It hasn't even been 24 hours.
Yeah, so you're only thinking of Cynthia versus the other singers. Wait, also the
so
best part. So I saw it with my sister and it was her third time seeing it. And when they get to Oz, there was a surprise.
Yes.
And I turned to my sister and I'm like, you knew about this and you didn't tell me? I was bugging out.
That was a crazy surprise. Also, the fact that I saw no TikTok spoilers for it.
Mm-hmm.
The Wicked community cares about one another.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would have been so easy just to post that and then probably go viral and probably get a lot of hate comments, but it's still engagement. And they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. My cousin, I went with her too, and she was filming the entire thing on her phone.
What?
Yeah.
For what?
So they say in the beginning of the movie, they're like, no singing, no flirting, no texting, no calling. My cousin literally was singing every single song. My sister and I were looking at each other. We were like, okay. And then she was also videotaping half the thing. We were dying laughing.
Wait, that would have bothered me so much.
Yeah, so I ended up switching seats with my cousin to be next to my sister because I didn't want to look at her recording next to me.
Good for you. If you can't control the situation, just like finagle the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I was next to a guy who was breathing like this.
God.
And he was with his family, and I just know that his daughters probably hate him. And I said, they've probably moved away from you a lot of times. I'm going to stay put.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I was really brave. And I knew that my sister would have like had a freak out attack if she was next to him. So I really just got lost in the movie. And it was easy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite song that they performed? Not your favorite song in general, favorite song that they performed.
Dancing Through Life was amazing.
The choreography.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even fathom. Oh, also a guy I work with brought up a really interesting tidbit today. Because obviously I ran to Twitter where I get all my like information. Because after shit in the world happens, I like to see both sides.
What two sides are there? Gladiator?
No. Just like people's thoughts on the movie. Because a lot of times Twitter will be like, did you notice this? Or I bet you missed this. Or people will say, I don't like how they did XYZ because, and I would disagree with that, but I still think it's interesting to hear what other people think. And also like so many people just have so many different thoughts. And so my coworker today said, I did not like how when she was dancing and singing to The Wizard and I, Elphaba was so giddy and she was running over those stones in the water based on how much she's scared of water. He said, I did not like that because why would she do that? That was a bad director's error.
Did we even know she's scared of water at that point?
No, which brings me to my next point. You can't tell someone they're stupid while they're telling you something. And what I said to him was, I understand where you're coming from, but what if it was more so to show that she's fearless?
Wait, are you commenting on Twitter?
No, this is my coworker.
Oh,
I am mute on Twitter.
okay. You're just taking it in. You're not
I'm
getting involved in the conversation.
I'm a spectator, except for on Instagram, on TikTok, like most socials, I'm a spectator.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised.
I don't want that digital footprint.
Oh my God. Also, people do Reddit. I thought Reddit over Twitter, but I don't do either, so.
Oh, I could go to Reddit. Do you go to Reddit?
No. I mainly use TikTok, Google. No, don't do Reddit.
Wikipedia.
No. One time in 6th grade, I totally learned about how anybody can edit Wikipedia pages, and I edited a page.
Which one?
It was about a blue starfish.
That's so random.
Yeah.
Were you alone?
So people probably believe it.
Remember when you would have to source your essays in high school?
Yes.
I'd be like, Wiki Notes. They'd be like, you can't do Wikipedia. I'm like, God damn it.
But you know what I want to know? Like with ChatGPT and all, can you run a paper through a system and tell that it's ChatGPT now?
Yes. My friends, or rather my friends' friends that are teachers, had said it's a big problem because it's so easy.
So easy.
And it's really even easier to get caught.
I hate how technology is making us so much dumber.
And so lazy.
Yeah.
I think there's two sides to ChatGPT where you can find out a lot more information. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But exactly the example we were just talking about, that's not beneficial to any student.
Mm-hmm. I heard people use it, and the only way that I really like using it is if you want to like get more information on something. Like let's say you are reading one side of a news article, like an opinion piece, and then you want to like get both sides. That's a good way to use ChatGPT. Or if you're writing like if you just interviewed somewhere, or if you whatever just had a call with someone and you want to thank them or whatever, you can put your original draft into ChatGPT and just make it better.
I think that's a great use of it, but also you need to be so aware if it doesn't sound like you, what are you doing?
Yeah, and then you gotta edit.
Like sometimes it's okay to just come off a little like Munchkin, so small-minded.
No.
Wait. Oh yeah. Wait, what song is that?
The Wizard.
Oh yeah, The Wizard and I. Okay. Dancing Through Life. Yes. Wait. This isn't a spoiler. The wizard is Elfie's dad.
Mm-hmm.
When do we actually find that out?
You find that out, I guess, in part 2, since it doesn't say it in part 1, but I also think that you kind of get clues in Act 1.
Does he know? Like, did he purposely
I don't think he knows. Actually, yeah, I don't think he knows.
Well, here's where I would go to Reddit, because my one brain cell is saying he got Elfie's mom purposely pregnant with the green elixir. But did that turn her into a witch?
Mm-mm.
Also, I was hearing some great chatter about how Wicked is really just about a man who gaslights an entire village.
Oh my God, it's so crazy.
It's so crazy.
He does nothing. He literally does nothing.
He's exposed.
Yeah.
When she's running, that whole scene when she's running after the monkeys. Oh, I never understood the monkeys. Did you?
Yeah.
Once I saw the movie, I did.
So maybe she doesn't understand the language, but she can read it. So when she was saying the words and reading the spell, she didn't realize that she was giving the monkeys, because he was saying that the monkey loves watching the birds, whatever.
Right.
She was probably thinking about it and put the spell onto the monkey.
Well, I thought that she purposely did it because he said that they wanted it. And then she saw that they were in pain. And then he was like, perfect, now they can spy on, what's our town called?
Oz?
Yeah, now they can spy. And then she was like, no, you're hurting them. And then she finds out. And then Defying Gravity goes.
Yeah, but also she's pissed about the other treatment that he has towards animals, because he took is the one that's banning the animals from school.
Right. And on that same note,
Yeah.
I went to the bathroom twice during the movie.
I went once.
Okay. Was it during Dear Old Shiz?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Because my sister was like, this is a good part to leave. I'm like, okay, cool.
Every time I listen.
Follow my lead.
And yes, indeed, you will be popular. You're gonna be popular.
Yeah, I love it.
I go to the bathroom during Dear Old Shiz, and I go during A Sentimental Man.
Yeah, those are the two boring songs.
I think that those are the two worst songs that I've ever. And I get like something bad. Like, who listened to this and thought, let's put it on Broadway?
Oh, I think it's kind of. I don't think it needed to be a song, but I think it needed to happen.
I feel like you're disagreeing with me for sport.
No, I'm just like analyzing and critiquing the film.
Yeah, I guess.
Wait, but also something that I've been hearing, everybody's been. Do you curse on here?
Yes.
Shitting on. Oh, I already cursed when I said my podcast name. Everyone's been shitting on Nessa. She's like, she's the villain. She's the real villain.
Well, they don't even know that Act 2's coming.
I know.
She is the villain.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, isn't she the East? The Witch of the East?
No, she's the one who sets the. Nessa sets. This is like literally becoming a Wicked podcast. And it's it recorded in green. Nessa is the one that sets the spell on Bach in the second act and turns him into a Tin Man.
Bach's the Scarecrow. Fiero's the Tin Man.
No, Bach doesn't have a heart. Fiero doesn't have a brain. Fiero equals Scarecrow.
Fiero's the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
And then who's the lion?
That cub that they had rescued.
Oh.
It doesn't make any sense.
God,
Jill, enough.
it.
Enough. We're not a Wicked recap podcast.
I'm so excited to see Dorothy in the part 2. And also it's like, let's say somebody's listening to this and they like haven't seen Wicked. Like, we're so sorry for spoiling some
Yeah, but
things.
also.
But like, you got to see it already. What are you doing?
Can I show you my new blue light glasses?
Yes.
Before I put them on, I want to tell you that wearing glasses as someone who doesn't need glasses is really vulnerable. I wore them.
All right, cut to the chase.
I put them on today and only like 2 people complimented me, which means they're hideous. But I really like them. Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Which, by the way, blue light glasses don't actually do anything beside help you sleep better.
What?
Yep. And you can also just turn your phone on night mode and it does the same thing as blue light glasses.
Okay, open.
No.
You don't like them?
Well, first off, they're like pushed high because you need to have them a little bit lower on your nose because they're like with yes. Wait.
Do you like them? I felt really like shy.
They're okay.
You know when you wear a new shirt, everyone says, "I love your shirt."
Yeah.
You know when you wear a new shirt and no one says that and you're like, "I'm going to burn this to the ground."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt today, where I felt people were like taken aback by me.
But you know what? At least it's just blue light glasses and not like a bad haircut.
That's true. I just feel like they know that they understand that I made a choice. Wait, so blue light glasses don't actually work?
They work, but it's best, like it only works at night because it's only for your sleep.
Oh, whatever.
It doesn't actually like looking at a computer doesn't actually strain your eyes. But if you're looking at it with a specific light at night, then it's going to affect your sleep cycle.
That's really interesting. I don't want to go into that because
we're not going into that
because
this is so not fun.
We don't.
If you talk about the science,
we don't have enough. No, I want to talk about the fashion of the blue light glass. Jill, I want to get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah,
not that deep. I would love if you could share for me what your not that deep is.
Okay, so yeah,
I was just gonna say, Jillian and I have been running in tandem around Washington Square Park, recording Woman on the Street interviews.
It's so fun, and the most fun part is that we do it together, right?
It's so fun because, looping back to Birthright, neither of us give a flying fook.
We get rejected so many times. Sometimes, like, we actually get no, I don't want to be part of your video, and we're just like, okay, next.
Yeah, we're like, move on.
Mm-hmm.
But you also I get a really good feel for people's body language and comfort level. And it's very obvious sometimes when someone's going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people are like, I don't speak this language. I'm like, good excuse.
Right. We're like, then how do you know that what we're saying?
But you've gotten good experience with Not That Deep. So I would love for you to share
Yes.
with me what your Not That Deep is. I know you have a few.
So the moment you asked me to come on the podcast today, I started
I'm a last minute
jotting
queen.
down my Not That Deeps because I have some that are like more serious than others. If we want to start with the first one, do you mind if I do a few?
Please. I think that is so unique.
Okay. So the first one starts at a very young age when I was 5 years old. The first time I felt like I wasn't enough was when my parents told me that I was getting a sister. I was just like, I remember my mom asking me, like, do you want a sibling? And I was like, no. And here I am with a sister.
And they just did it anyways?
She was already pregnant. There was no option.
Oh, man. You probably felt so out of control.
I did. And then I just realized it's not that deep and BH because we're besties.
And yeah, you can't imagine your life without your sister.
No, not
It
a
would not be
single
that
day.
fun.
It would not be fun at all.
You would
Well,
have no one to have
no.
already seen Wicked 3 times when you're seeing it for the first time.
Exactly.
I
No,
like
she
that.
actually makes everything better. Okay.
It's like not getting what you want from an early age.
So then I was like, okay, that's not that deep. It wasn't like a me thing. It was like they just wanted to expand the family. So
They're
my
like,
next
please be a
one-
boy, please be a boy.
Okay, so my next one is when I was younger, I would go on a bunch of auditions because I was a musical theater girly. And I went on a commercial audition for a Jell-O commercial. And I did the audition. It was actually in the city. And I remember I cheated and I like looked at the notes page that the person that was holding the auditions wrote down for me, and there were 3 sections, and it was performance, personality, and looks. And I remember it was out of 5. Each scale was out of 5, and I just remember like peeking behind me and looking, and just because I wanted to see like, am I gonna get booked? And I saw that for personality they gave me a 5.
Yes.
For performance they gave me a 5.
Amazing.
And then for looks they gave me a 2.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Like 7.
That's awful.
Yeah.
And you're hotter in person.
I know.
Wait, did you talk to anyone about it at the time?
My mom. I was like, did you see that? Also, I had just donated my hair, so I get it. Like, I was just like, it's nothing personal. I'll try again next time.
What did they have you do in the Jell-O commercial? Like act like you were in a piece of Jell-O?
No, they had me read a script. I had to memorize a commercial.
What'd you book? Did you book any commercials?
A Gap.
You booked a Gap commercial?
I don't think it ever aired, but I did film one. Yep, I have that video, but I don't think it ever aired.
Your mom like tells you that you booked something, takes you to a random warehouse.
Yeah, no, it didn't really go anywhere. And now I'm, still doing the entertainment thing, just different route.
You clearly craved that from the beginning.
Oh, 100%.
Were you always like doing shows and shit when you were little?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I was doing shows all the time, like constantly. Year round I was doing shows, theater.
Can you tell the Peter Theater story? Or Sweaty Jerry?
No, it was Theater Peter.
Oh, I have such a good memory.
But like there's no story, it's just a photo.
I know, but I want to post it when I post your episode.
Okay, so in camp we do this thing called hits, which is like when you act out things that happen around camp. So like let's say we're only getting chicken and pasta, somebody will act like an unhappy camper and they'll like do a dance to It's a Hard Knock Life or something, and they'll be like chicken pasta, I hate it, whatever. It's so camp. And so basically I had to act like the head of the theater program, who was this guy that was very sweaty all the time and Yeah. And so basically he was kind of the star of Hits, which is fitting that I got the part.
Duh.
But the photo, it's just like, it wasn't my prime. And so it's just me in like an XXL shirt, and there's pit stains and like sweat stains all over me, and I'm wearing like jorts.
Hot.
Yeah. Like,
Sorry, I just like
boy shorts.
I can picture that photo right now in your gray shirt, and you're like,
yeah. No,
okay,
it's a cute photo. You
people,
can post it. It's fine.
I'll post it.
Okay.
With some thirst traps too. Duh.
Love talking about camp memories. I was just at a wedding this weekend for a camp friend. It was really fun.
Did they do a candle lighting?
What do you mean?
I think that wedding should have candle lightings.
For what? Oh, like please come up and light candle number 1.
Like, to my camp friends that are with me to the end, we don't always know how to do the jive. Will you please come up and light candle number 5?
No.
And then it's like, celebrate good times, come on.
Yeah, no, they didn't do that. But I did give a speech. That was fun.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Night before or wedding?
Night before. I was not MOH.
No, like I would have expected. You were upset that I didn't text you about Griffin. I would have been very upset if you gave a speech at a wedding and didn't text me.
Why?
Because that's a really big deal.
Oh, I'll send it to you.
Wait, no, I meant like
there's vids.
I meant
I'll
like
send it.
if you were the day of the wedding giving a speech.
Oh my God. Yeah, you would know.
Yeah, I'm not mad at you right now.
Okay.
Wouldn't have
good.
had you on the pod.
Right. So true.
Hit me with NTD number 3.
Okay. So the next one is when I was in 4th grade and I was on the trampoline
Just going
with
through life.
2 girls in my grade, and one of them came over and pantsed me. And I was so embarrassed, mortified, ran off of the trampoline, ran inside the house, talked to their nanny, and was like, get me out of here. And the girl was like yelling at me. She's like, if you leave, you're not invited back to my house. And I was like, I'm upset right now.
Oh.
And it was also like in front of this girl who I saw at the time as cooler than I. So I was like, that's so embarrassing.
This might be one that's that deep.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have had. Now I look back and I'm like, oh, it's not that deep. But in that moment, it was bad.
Well, also, that was a really probably pivotal time for your life. Did you continue to be friends with her?
No, we were actually like, it was a thing where we weren't allowed to be in a class together because I think my mom like called the school and was like, this girl bullies my daughter.
But if anyone was asking you, hey, Jill, why aren't you and Alexa friends anymore? You would have the upper hand in saying, she pantsed me.
People knew what happened.
She's the pantser. Her TikTok name is like the pantser. Pantsing was such a thing.
Was it? It wasn't for me.
We would always do it at birthday parties.
It was the first time I saw it.
It was
when I got it done to me. But also, I think that there is something to be said about people that peaked in middle school and elementary school, because that girl right now is not friends with anybody from high school, and look who is.
But that is Cynthia and Viro's publicist.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm like, no, that girl can be searched and found. Okay. The next thing that's not that deep. Okay, so maybe that one was too deep. And maybe we should just cut it out because that one was kind of deep.
People might relate to it in terms of like having a traumatic reaction or having a traumatic experience when they were younger. There's a girl that had a birthday party, and at the sleepover, someone pantsed her, and then she made everyone go home.
Yeah, see, it is that deep.
It is that deep.
Okay, next one.
Are you okay if I keep it in?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. My next one is my 23andMe results. Because I only bought 23andMe to find out that I was anything but Ashkenaz Jew.
What made you think that you weren't?
I'm obsessed with like everything Spanish, South American. I just wanted a little bit of oomph in my DNA. You know, you think of like Eastern Europe and you think cold, depressing, and like soup. You know, you think of like
Borscht,
you think of cholent, you think of like just miserable people. And I don't really want that to be my whole identity. So I did the test, and the results were saddening because I am indeed 99.5% Ashki Jew. And not only that, but I also found out, and I guess I should just start putting this on job apps, but like I am 0.1% Indigenous American and also 0.3% Cypriot.
What's the remaining 0.1?
Unassigned. So I'm kind of hoping that they reveal it to me like on one of my big birthdays, like maybe my 30th, and they're like, "You're South American."
I feel like you have the right to assume that.
Yeah. And then I can put on all of my apps that I'm Latina.
Yeah, but you aren't on dating apps.
No, my job applications. Like for the future.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
I'm picturing like you on a dating app, and I'm like, well,
people
I don't know if you're
put Ashki on their dating app. You just take a look at them and you're like, okay.
No, when people are Sephardic, I'm like, I've never met someone like you.
Yeah.
I don't know Sephardic Jews.
I do. They're more new to my life, actually, though.
They're just as important, but I just think that Ashkenazi Jews is what we're the most familiar with.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I had a joke at one point that my sister did 23andMe test, and she found out that she was 99.9% Ashkenazi Jew, but I could have told you that by how much she complained about paying for the test.
Hey,
yeah, that's a good one, right?
That's a good one.
That was like one of my
love
first
that.
jokes. So many people do 23andMe jokes that's not even original, but as you know, it's all in the delivery.
I loved that one. You should keep going with it.
Okay, I kind of like seeing your face light up when I said
loved
it.
that. I love that. That was punchy.
So your ancestry is not that deep.
My ancestry is not that deep. I'm proud of my roots. I'm proud to be, 99.5% Ashkenazi.
You have to
Jew.
own it, Jill. Own it.
Well, now instead of saying like Polish Russian, I'm like, I'm Western Ukrainian and Hungarian. I like change it up because if you look at the map, it circles like the entire Eastern Europe. So you can really be any.
Yeah.
So I kind of pick and change it up. Or I just say I'm Cypriot.
Which I don't even know what that means. So that would have
Cyprus.
Okay, but that would have me thinking you're exotic.
So maybe I should just say that.
Put that on your dating apps.
Won't be on those.
Okay.
Hey, you mean job apps?
Yeah, job apps.
Okay. The next one is more of a serious note, and it's people not telling me when they can't come to my parties.
Is this a subtweet to me?
No, you'll tell me. You'll be like, hey, sorry, I can't make it. Like, you warn me in advance.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
So, like, for example, I just had a Halloween party at my apartment, and my entire camp friend group, like, didn't show up. And I was like, I was expecting to see you guys there, but it's not that deep. Like, I still had a great time. Other people showed up. And if you don't want to come, you don't have to come. But just like, let me know. I feel like courtesy, common courtesy, just like letting the person know you won't be in attendance. Unless you don't find your attendance that important to the party.
That would frustrate me so much. That's just simple communication.
Yeah.
Like not shitting on your camp friends or anything, but you also are a great friend. So if you extend the invite to someone, I think the least they could do is let you know if they're coming or not.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you have to lower expectations? Not even about them, just in general, sometimes with people?
Yeah. I mean, it also, like, at first I was, like, analyzing the relationship, and I was like, oh, my God, did I do something? What's going on? Or, like, why didn't this person come? Oh, my God, like, are we not friends anymore? Like, you think the worst. But then at the end of the day, you're like, you know what? Whoever wants to come to a party, a big house party, like, will come. And they want to be there. And if you don't want to be there, then I don't really want you there anyway, because also, like, I don't want you bringing down the mood. Just go relax at home.
Yeah, but that mindset is very strong, but it takes a second to get there.
It did take a second. And
Like,
now
it's
I
been a
realize
month,
it's not that deep.
Right. And now you expect less and you won't be disappointed.
But only from those specific people. From everybody else, I still expect clear communication and a proper, response to the invite.
Communication is, I think, the easiest yet most. Let me think about the words I want to use. It's the easiest way to ruin a good thing is having a lack of.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And that kind of leads me to my next not that deep.
Nice transition.
Friendships that just end naturally because of a lack of communication.
I love that. Do you want to talk more on that?
So I've had friendships that just kind of like ended because, I don't know, I guess we put more time and energy into other friends and just distance ourselves naturally, like not with intent, like, oh, I'm specifically trying to stop hanging out with this person. It's just like life got in the way, you got busy, and now the friendship's kind of distance, and that just happens, and you can't really take it personally. They were a chapter, not the full story of your life.
That also takes a second to get to. Like, that takes time.
But I also feel like I realized it after the fact. Like, I was like, oh, you know what? Like, we were trying, because, like, with one of my friends, we were trying to make a plan, and then we just kind of kept, like, having other things going on, so we couldn't, and now we just kind of, like, haven't reached out, and it just distanced naturally. But I think that I looked at it, like, months later, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen that person since the summer. Like, it's been so long, but maybe we're just, like, distant. Like, now we're just not as close. It's fine.
Also makes you think, do I miss them?
Right.
Did it feel forced?
Right.
When I want to hang out with someone, I hang out with them.
If they wanted to, they would.
People use that so much with dating. Use it in your family relationships, in your friendships, in your colleague relationships. If somebody wanted to, they literally would.
Yeah.
They are telling you what they feel with their action or lack of action.
Pick up on the signs. Yeah, if they're thinking about you, like, I mean, that's the hard part. You feel like, am I not important to them? Like, is my presence not so special to them? Because I think that my presence is special to the people that I choose to, like, surround myself with. But at the same time, like, you should only want to be around people that make you feel special, and, like, your energy is, like, so praised, and, like, they're so excited to have you there.
And you know who those people are.
Right.
And also those people that you feel less after hanging out with them. I truly just hanging out with people that when you leave, you're smiling, or you feel like calling someone else to talk more because you're just so happy. Like, life is so short. We need to be around these uplifting people. And friendships, I think it's hard because we're in almost the great divide right now, where a lot of people are getting engaged. And honestly, that's where I feel the great divide is with, like, a lot of my friends, is like a lot of them are getting engaged and then a lot of them are not. I think people have different divides with different groups. Like, okay, these people are really exceeding in their job and I feel like I'm standing still, or these people are moving to a new city because they kind of got sick of the one that we all started in, like New York, for example. And it can be really hard you need to make a clear decision if you're losing them in that divide, because it's super easy not to. Because you might have this one difference now that this divide is happening, but you still have, like, your commonalities and you want the best for each other. But if you don't also realize maybe you don't really like them that much, or are we just friends because of the history that we share, it's really easy to lose them in the divide, and then you can blame them on that divide. Like, oh, well, they're engaged now, so, okay, my best friends are engaged.
Yeah, for me, it's like, if I reach out to you to make a plan and you cancel, or, like, if you have something come up and you can't make it, I'm now putting it on you. The ball's in your court, and if you don't give that back to me, then you're not going to hear from me. And that's just, like, setting boundaries that make me feel like, okay, you're either worth my energy and time or you're not. And I think that people also need to realize that, like, spending time with you, like, people spending time with me, like, that, like, I'm a great person to hang out with, you know? Like, you are a great person to hang out with. So feel your value in the friendships that you have and the people that you surround yourself with. And if someone doesn't want to spend time with you, like, that is seriously their loss.
I just had an experience that I wasn't invited to something that like a group of high school friends had, and I was so upset. And it was like, kind of get over it. I was talking to like a few friends about it just because it didn't feel good, but at the same time it was like, well, if I was having something like that, would they be invited to that?
Oh, you told me about this. I was gonna say we can offline about this.
And the answer was no, but for some reason I still wanted to be included. So I think that's hard too, is if you feel yourself drifting away from someone, but you don't want them to feel like you're drifting away, kind of managing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an interesting time in life to be in.
When it comes to group hangouts, what I always say, if you're not invited to something, just if that ever happens to you again, which I hope it never does, you really need to just think like it's not fun if you're not there. So whenever I'm not invited to something, I'm like, wow, their loss. Like, can't wait to not hear about this night because it probably is not going to have many fun memories because the party was not there officially.
The party wasn't there. That's so beautiful. That's such a good point also. And that's not us being egotistical. That's us having some inner strength. Self-worth, understanding our value, and also like, sure, it's a coping mechanism. Sure, I'll call it what it is. Like, that's me protecting myself.
Mm-hmm. Because I think it also, like, when you're not invited to things, it might not be personal. It might be like, oh, I just wanted people that are friends with this person to be invited. Like, not even necessarily like, you're not even like part of the thought process with like, oh, this person is associated with the person that we're gathering for, you know?
Right.
I don't know if this situation was that, but like, you need to just think it was only fun if you were going to be there and you weren't there. So
totally. And also like, we don't need to all do everything as like a huge group anymore. I think that's another thing of just growing and living all in the same city, that people that live in LA or something that kind of just have more one-off friends. I think that just comes with growth.
Mm-hmm. I have one more, not that deep.
Hit me.
Okay. So the last one.
That was a really good one.
Yeah. So my last one is, I mean, I don't know who you get actually, but it has to do with celebrity lookalikes. Who's your celebrity lookalike? What do people tell you?
You know what?
You've just such a unique look for an Ashki Jew.
I have not. I'll get more so like friends of friends. Someone will be like, oh, you look like this cousin of my friend.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm like, oh, she's not even cute. You know, who's yours?
Okay, so that is my not that deep, because people always say to me that I look like these two people, but they'll say like, oh, but you're the prettier version of this person.
Oh, I hate that.
And I'm like,
I hate that.
I literally don't like that, because you're telling me that the person's like blatantly not cute, and then you're saying that I'm the prettier version of a not cute person. Like, I dealt with that in middle school. I don't need to be hearing this again. So people tell me that I look like Kat Cohen.
Yes.
We've spoken about that.
Yes.
And then also Lauren from Fifth Harmony.
I need to look her up after.
And this one's actually nice. I mean, okay, they're nice. They're all nice because they're all beautiful. But people tell me I look like Liz Gillies also. I got that once in Madrid. People came up to me at a club in Madrid, and they were like, "Are you Liz Gillies?" And I'm like, for tonight.
You're like,
and they were from Turkey. They were like, "Can we take a photo with you?"
You're kidding me.
I was like, wait. She does not have size D's. I'm sorry.
Like, no, she had a tiny
really
little
don't know
thing.
what Liz Gillies looks like.
I so see it. I can see exactly what they're talking about. I would never look at you and say, that's Liz Gillies lookalike.
No.
But I can see what they're talking about.
Yeah. So I've gotten Liz Gillies, Lauren from Fifth Harmony, and then Catherine Cohen. I mean, Catherine Cohen is a half Jew herself. So I get the resemblance. And I do see it also because like we do our eyeliner the same. And,
Yes.
you know, whatever. I mean, I think that she's cute, but like when people say you're the prettier version of somebody, it's just like a little, you're like, is that a backhanded compliment? Like, thank you, question mark.
This is bringing up such a good point because I have said to people, you look like the prettier version of this person. But it's almost like you have to say that because then if you're like, oh, you look just like this person, if you don't think that you look just like them, then you're either the hotter version or the uglier version.
Unless you're getting told that you look like Mila Kunis.
That would be awesome.
I know. So it's also like when people associate you to your parents, like for me, people always try to put me in a box saying like, oh, you do this just like your mom, you do this just like your dad. Like just because I learned the piano at a young age doesn't make me like my dad. That just means I took piano lessons. You know what I mean? Like people will say like, oh, you do this just like your mom. Like we're all three of us are from New York. Like we're bound to say things similarly. We're bound to talk with our hands, all of that.
Yeah, but are you texting? Okay.
Sorry.
Who are you texting?
Business calls.
Oh, fine. Is it your roommate from college?
No, but we did plan a dinner.
Good for you.
Thank you.
And if you wanted to, you would. And you're doing that.
Yep. Reconnected.
Oh
my God, I'm so excited to just like pick her brain.
I love picking people's brains.
Same.
Jill, thank you for letting me pick your brain today. Thank you for coming on Not That Deep. I hope you enjoyed your time.
I hope that you enjoyed all 6 of my examples of things that aren't that deep, even though one is. Maybe I should start seeing somebody for it. But
No, I think the pantsing one is going to stick with me. Everyone listening, comment which one is keeping you up at night.
Please, I'm kind of curious now.
I liked how it was a solid mix.
Yeah, I tried to just think of like, you know, pinpointing moments in my life where I was like, you know, I had some pretty high emotions there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pantsing is so vulnerable. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Not That Deep. Remember, you can listen to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to laugh. Remember to compliment someone randomly today. And thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.
For good.
Also, even though it's not Thanksgiving, don't forget to be grateful.
Don't.
Thank your friends. Thank those around you. Be grateful. Be thankful.